giant amethyst geode crystals from you. I am not. Hey, that is, you know what? It doesn't even matter if I am. Because it shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't need to point it out like some derogative way, okay? That's just unnecessary. It's 2022. Stop using it in some sort of insulting term. Anyway, back over to the big, rock hard, girthy, thick, cracked open geodes. Look how big they are. I bet that guy has to use both hands when holding them. This tree fell perfectly onto another one to prevent it from falling all the way to the ground. Which begs the question, if a tree falls onto another one in the forest and no one's around to see it, does it make a sound of someone Rule 34 shipping it into their favorite fanfic? Oh, Twig Desu Kun-chan, you saved me. No, Morningwood Summer, you saved me. The giant Cheeto of Cheadle, Alberta. Wow, this confirms it. They truly do look like a weird orange turd when zoomed in. Which you think would dissuade humanity from enjoying these as a light snack. You'd think. Nope, snacky poo-poos go in the mouth, yum yum yum. A hermit crab using an artificial shell crawls across a sea of plastic waste. Beautiful, it's nice to see that the creatures have finally caught up and adapted to modern life. See, clearly this means our plastic waste is necessary to be left in the ocean. Suck it, Mr. Beast. Inside a Steinway grand piano. Looking like some weird underground subway that's uncomfortably fluffy looking too, actually. Could you imagine fluffy furniture and architecture scaled to this magnitude? I imagine cleaning would be a nightmare. Human tower competitions in Catalonia, Spain. By far, this is extreme trust exercises. I hope you're not at the top and need to pee. Lava following across the snow in Iceland as people come near it to watch and warm themselves. Long ago, the Snow Nation lived in harmony until the Fire Nation attacked. Then they lived in bliss because it was actually really nice for them to bring some warmth to the area. Frederick Blah invented the Pringles can. When he passed away in 2008, his ashes were buried in one. I don't know, Frederick. I think you're just going to be bursting with carbon if I opened you up. Could you imagine if they put his Pringles can away, but accidentally swap it out with an actual Pringles can? So just somewhere out there in your local grocery aisle is the ashes of Frederick. It's like a golden ticket for the Willy Wonka factory, except, unintentional cannibalism. This is Pheasant Island, an uninhabited island between France and Spain, who both share the island. Right, so what, did someone just come on flying by in creative mode, build a bunch of things and leave? I feel like there needs to be more context here, because that architecture definitely isn't more than 40 to 50 years old. Oh! Today in Why Jack is a freaking idiot. Hi, that's me. I thought this whole image was of the island. No, it's far more pathetic than that. It's that little splot of land in between the river here. I mean, really? We're gonna call that an island, not just some growth in the river? Pretty sure Australia has 500 of them. Not growths, I mean islands and rivers. Look, maybe we have growths, I don't know, we maybe need to see a doctor. I am a bone carving artist, and I made this knife by carving buffalo bones.
I've got a joke for you. What is a bone carver's favorite snack?
The oldest known D20 is from 300 BCE. Ancient nerds! Hong Kong in 1964 versus 2016. Why these years hate each other, it is not really well known. But I've got my money on 2016 because that was the year humanity was at its best before it all turned to hell. R.I.P. Harambe. Also, I want to hope that smog is just because of the time of the day this was taken and not at all because of how terrible the weather is there now. Crayfish from the clear lagoon waters of the Great Barrier Reef. Yo, what? Nah, mate, I grew up in Cairns, okay? Let's get a little map out there. Cairns, right there. Nice to visit, boring as hell to live in. That's beside the point. That's like the tourist trap of visiting the Great Barrier Reef. And I assure you as a local, when they say clear lagoon waters, oh, that's gotta be once in 5 years. Still, amazing catch though. Crayfish clearly being the type of sea creature that, has found its parents' wallet and has bought a bunch of microtransactions for cosmetics. Facial reconstruction of a medieval Scottish woman who was buried between the 12th and 14th centuries at the Whithorn Priory, located in the Dumfries and Galloway region of Scotland. Wow, she looks so human and modern. It's disgusting. Zhongshu Library in Chengdu, China. I've probably butchered those words. Chinese agents around Australia, please don't come and assassinate me. Oh, would you look at that? It is like the dream of every Belle wannabe out there. Let's just ignore the fact that a lot of those books there aren't actually real. Nah, it's aesthetic, it's nice. The lucky iron fish. Used by people with low blood iron. You need only cook with it to increase your iron intake. Cooking with a fish in the kitchen? They don't even make chef uniforms for fish. That's silly. The only school they belong in is with other groups of fish. Lunchtime at the movie site Star Wars, directed by George Lucas in 19... Damn, dude. Practical effects back then, like, it was pretty bad, but you gotta give some absolute honor to it. Bedding was such a luxury in the Middle Ages that blankets and sheets were written into wills. Yeah, despite the pressured need and requirement for very advanced things such as internet access, etc., just to function well in this society, it is rather humbling to know that me, as someone who owns like 5 different sheets, let alone too many spare towels because I kept stealing them from a hotel I used to work at. Yeah, I'm like a duke in the Middle Ages. Sir Jack, Earl of Nutsauce. For this video, I want everyone to sign their comments with their weird duke or duchess title. Only if you own more than one sheet though. You know, it's got to be legitimate if we're doing this. Shark tooth collectors making the best of it in the wake of Hurricane Ian. So essentially, there's hundreds of sharks roaming around Florida right now looking like old grandpas. Help! The shark! It's suckling me! Taken in 1937, this photograph of a man holding what seems to be a giant grasshopper is, in fact, a hoax. But this fooled a lot of people back then. I have to wonder how they achieved this.
Photoshop.
No. Did they layer 2 photos onto each other and then, you know, reprint it, to speak, in that way? Or was someone just really good at sketching? Either way, it's nice to see that the chase for clout and attention is something that's been around forever and didn't really just spring up when social media became a thing. A sunset on Mars. Who would have thought we'd be able to witness such a thing on our little devices?
Mine's average, actually. It's actually an average size device, you know, 5 inches, so.
In Melbourne, Australia, city officials set up email addresses for specific trees so locals could report issues like dangerous branches. Instead, people sent thousands of love letters to trees, such as one that said, "You must get these messages all the time. You're such an attractive tree." That's amazing! I demand these email addresses. I demand to have the equal ability to flirt with someone and get no response or attention back. Tinder, what's that? The original version of Monopoly was a cautionary tale against the perils of capitalism. But then, sadly and ironically, capitalism took over. This moss agate that looks like a tropical paradise from above. Ooh, I know I'm not safe to eat it, but I still want to. See, Brain, this is why I can't trust you with things. The Dead Tree. Star trail over Okanagan Lake from Naramata, BC. Damn, man, I hope that I too can look just equally as beautiful when I'm dead. Cartwheel Galaxy! The Cartwheel Galaxy got its shape from a collision with a smaller galaxy outside the field about 100 million years ago. X-rays seen by Chandra, blue and purple, come from superheated gas, exploded stars, and neutron stars and black holes pulling material from companion stars. Does that make no sense to you? Who cares? Just look at the pretty lights. Ooh, wait, just look how insignificant you are. I mean, look how pretty it is. Harris's antelope squirrel is a species of rodent found in Arizona and New Mexico in the United States and in Sonora in Mexico. They have a wide-ranging diet, including vegetation, insects, small rodents, and humans. carrion. It looks like a squirrel with dwarfism, which is a good, cute thing. It's a positive thing. I don't mean it in a bad way. Meet Svante Pääbo, the 2022 Nobel Prize winner in medicine. His father won it in 1982. And that is in fact his father's skull. Mwah, kisses. No, I'm kidding, it's not. Or is it? It's not.
It is?
No. Las Vegas police facing Mike Tyson after he'd just bitten Evander Holyfield's ear off. 1996.
Don't say our tactic to apprehend him too loudly. He's got super hearing now.
Delicious. Artist Mr. Doodle has spent 2 years covering every square inch of his 1.35 million pound house in doodles. Oh, better be the old way of saying a little cute drawing and not actual phallics. Anyway, he was working his way through 900 liters of emulsion, 401 cans of spray paint, 286 bottles of drawing paint, and 2,296 pen nibs. Ah, look at all those YouTube-safe doodles. Look at him lying on the doodles. Look at all the doodles wrapped around him. Oh look, he's drinking from the doodle too. And he goes in here to bathe in the doodles. And here he is outside with the much larger doodles. He's very happy with all the doodles he has. People fleeing and boat washing ashore as a tsunami hits Indonesia in 2004. If my memory serves me right, the lady running towards him is actually the mother of the two kids down over there. I was only like 10 at the time, but this whole family got separated from each other. There's actually a movie about them, I believe. It's got little baby Tom Holland in it too, if you're, a crazy fanatic about him. Yes, it was called The Impossible back in 2012. Very fun movie, very traumatizing. Enjoy! Images showing how forced perspective was used to film Will Ferrell in Elf. Ah, the magic of how men measure their height on dating apps. A B-52 Stratofortress aircraft pilot wearing nuclear flash blindness goggles in the 1970s. Mothman. Savo male lions generally do not have a mane. Several hypotheses, one closely tied to climate. An alternative explanation is that manelessness is an adaptation to the thorny vegetation. They have heightened levels of testosterone, which could also explain their reputation for aggression. So what we're saying here, scientifically, is that the most testosterone aggressive lions out there are the ones that look like lionesses. Ooh, that's gonna rustle the jimmies of so many alpha incel males. 26-year-old Playboy model Anna Nicole Smith and her 89-year-old billionaire oil tycoon J. Howard Marshall on their wedding day in 1994. Their marriage lasted 14 months until Marshall died in 1995. It's one thing when you're at least standing tall, you're happy, having a good time. This ain't it, man. Also, who's there? Why is there no one there? You've had 86 years to develop family and friends, man. Come on. This is why you do side quests, people. Portal mirrors. I likey, but I also don't likey the subconscious drive within me to run through these. I do not have the hospital cover for that. My mother holding her old heart 2 weeks post-heart transplant surgery. That's weird. That's gotta feel weird. Like that was inside you. And it's not like poop or something, you could just hold that and that's like, well, that naturally comes out of you. That doesn't, the heart doesn't. The Jackal, hand carved into living pumpkin, 2022. Very cool tattoo, though I am uncomfortable with you calling it a living pumpkin because that's just basically telling us you carved the skin of a living creature for our entertainment. Oh, look, it lights up, look at that. Exposing the even greater detail you went into carving out the flesh. A field turns from orange to green as harvesters reap marigold flowers in Los Mochis, Mexico, 1967. Gorgeous display of the colors of nature, assisted through cheap labor. Yay! Jeff Bezos would be proud. Early bird catches the worm, red-eyed bulbul in the South African Republic. OC. Wait, you mean this is God? Ooh, God posted something today. Isn't that lovely? In all seriousness, that's a really dang good photo. I'd assume it's a camera that has like a motion sensor sort of setting right now, but yeah, wow, that is close. Piece of material painted with Vanta black. So dark no light reflects and it looks like a void. Yeah, that's straight up confusing to look at. Yeah, I'm just gonna casually leave the end of all light here on the coffee table. All the various reprints of the same book I found at a local bookstore. So I'm going to assume it's some sort of classic novel. That, or someone desperately wants their book to be bought and just thinks it's definitely got to be the cover that's the issue, not my terrible writing. Meanwhile, in book news, 4 women to run post office and count penguins in Antarctica. Which I'm sure many of us are jelly about the prospect, but this is counting penguins, not interacting with them. In reality, this is literally just a glorified accountant. Though I suppose the things you're counting are cute, fuzzy little creatures and not your annoying co-workers. Weird Al Yankovic wrote his parody song, The Saga Begins, before Star Wars Episode 1 was released. Lucasfilm denied his request to see it early, so he relied on internet spoilers for plot details. Well, that just makes me want to go ahead and listen to it to see what he got right. Finnish folk medicine called cupping therapy being performed in a sauna, Finland, 1935. Giving off real species vibes. Yeah, wow. I know about cupping. I know they use more like glass round cups nowadays, but Oh wow, those things look very grotesque. The unbroken seal on King Tutankhamun's tomb, 1922. This seal was actually a seal to King Tut's 5th shrine. The king was buried in a series of 4 sarcophagi, which were in turn kept inside a series of 5 shrines. This unbroken seal stayed for 3,245 years untouched. So we did the right thing and touched it. We touched it hard. We destroyed it. 1 tree, 2 seasons. And I'll be damned if it deserves a 3rd, honestly. It's such a boring show at this point. So repetitive and just obvious, it just keeps going back to its roots every single time. Mushroom or nuke-shaped cloud formation in Las Vegas. That might explain why everyone's gone radio silent in that area in the last 24 hours. Reconstruction of the skull of that, which is made from imprint of its skeleton, as no bone of Steve survived. In summary, professional guesstimating. What is on top of the truest building in Atlanta? A sniper hide?
No, stop looking at us. Stop.
Lewis Pugh, an endurance swimmer who's known for swimming in the world's coldest waters, can raise his core body temperature by almost 2 degrees Celsius in anticipation of entering freezing water. A sports scientist coined the term anticipatory thermogenesis to describe the unique ability. Yeah, when people wish or desire having superpowers in this reality, this is it. This is the best you're gonna get. Ooh, Thermo Man, stopping by Texas in the winter because your governor sucks at their job with the electricity grid. Yeah, I follow American politics. Hungarian students protest for an increase in the salaries of their teachers. Oh damn, that is far bigger than what I was expecting. Honestly, hell yeah, it's nice to see that there are students out there who can clearly tell there are benefits for marching towards something that doesn't actually really influence them directly, but definitely passively. Those jaws! Sharks never run out of teeth. Whenever a tooth becomes weak or loose, it simply falls out and the tooth behind it slides up to take its place. This conveyor belt of teeth ensures that the shark is always able to hunt and defend itself. Well, that's a renewable industry for those dealing with Hurricane Ian. Kolkata's Durga worship with a theme of Van Gogh's Starry Night. I have no idea what's going on here, but it looks absolutely beautiful. If Van Gogh could hear this in his grave, he'd be very proud. But mostly dead, because he is dead. In Western Australia, you will find these stunning green bird flowers. As part of Aboriginal Dreamtime, it is said these flowers were little birds, but a big wind came, and the spirits didn't want to see them all die. So, they changed them into the flowers we see now. Thanks, Dreamtime. Also, it gets to a point when it comes to plant life and other creatures that resemble other creatures, you just gotta, come on, Lord and Savior, you're getting a bit lazy with that copy and paste. This is the difference between the crocodile, caiman, and alligator. So your crocodile's the one who's clearly on some sort of, addiction. Cayman is trying to assure you that crypto is still worth it, and the alligator is just happy to be included. This very popular photo captured by Timothy C. Roth from Task Force Turtle portrays a snapping turtle that emerged after hibernation carrying the Earth on its back. Don't you hate just going for a little bit of a nap and you wake up and an entire house and plot of land's on top of you? Just, it's so annoying. This is a photo of General Electric's walking truck, the cybernetic anthropomorpheus machine. The vehicle, which was developed for the US Army, could carry up to half a ton in weight and could walk over difficult terrain. For the US Army. And you're gonna make it this goofy? It looks like some sort of McDonald's delivery vehicle for a kid's theme park. Welsh spiritualist Colin Evans feigns levitation by jumping up and down in total darkness and filming himself with an infrared camera in London, 1939. Yeah, man's really going for it, isn't he? Just look at the sense of focus in his eyes. And that one woman freaking out. Picture of the Crown, UK, at the Tower of London. Oh wow, cool, they got the prop from Sherlock, that's cool. A building made without cutting down the 327-year-old tree. I do love this, however I know that despite loving this, if I lived on that floor there with the 2 holes, I'm gonna hate everything about it the moment I drop my keys down it. Bathing cabins for women in the 19th century. Okay, I'm gonna order this thing to come back. How nice would it be for you to get to enjoy the beach, and instead of having to go all the way up the sand with your wet, sandy feet and butt and everything all covered in sand, You just walk into a little cabin, and your horse takes the cabin away with you. Look, I love glamping, okay, so I'll be as pedantic about this kind of thing as I want. Adam Keskin, who works as a worker in a furniture factory in Bursa, parachuted into the garden of his workplace when he realized that he would be late for work. Okay, there is definitely more backstory needed here. Like, what were you doing beforehand that required you to suddenly remember you needed to go to work and then have the tools around you to be able to just get into a vehicle that elevates in the sky enough for you to just then get a parachute and then get to work? Like, damn, if you were planning to go skydiving that day, that is very convenient.